Hey guys, welcome to a recap of Indian Matchmaking, Episode 7, Daddy's Little Tall Girl. So, we open up this episode with a love marriage who's been together for 14 years. One is a chatterbox, one is quite reserved, and it's so interesting to hear how they talk about them becoming together as a couple. It wasn't easy, but ultimately these two they wanted to be each other, so they made it work. So they fought for their love. So she is with the person that she wants to be with, and he is a good son-in-law. So let's get into this episode, y'all. So we start off this episode in the beautiful New Delhi, and we are meeting our new single named Pivneet. Okay, so Pivneet, she is a boss. She is independent. She is ready to find a man to get married to. And most of all, what makes her so fascinating is how tall she is. She is 6 feet tall, which is one of the reasons why it's difficult for her to find a proper match. Because she noticed as she dated that most of these guys get intimidated by her height, okay? Which is interesting to me because I'm like, damn, that's the goddess height. I would love to be that tall. So she struggles in the dating process because primarily of her height and how men are not as confident in themselves to date a person so tall, which is why we have Auntie Sima who's here to weed out the guys to find someone that's gonna be a match for Pivneat. Okay, she also has said that she experienced guys not even being truthful about their profession or even where they live. So good thing we have Sima here to help. So Auntie Sima, she arrives to Pipneet's home and her family is there. And we learn is that Pipneet's parents, they were arranged. So the reason why the dad said that her mom would be the one was because she was the only one who was tall. So he's like, he never met such a tall girl. So he said this was gonna be his match. The parents, the family, they are tall. So tall is in their DNA. So what they want ultimately is a son-in-law who's going to be caring and but everything else will be up to Pivneet. So it's going to be the daughter's choice. So I like to see that because you see that her family is quite supportive for her to just find love and happiness, okay? So we're in this journey with Pivneet and she is looking for a person who's passionate, love traveling, creative, smart, ambitious, have a sense of humor, or at least can learn to have a sense of humor. Height, she says that she is 6 feet, so she would like tall, so it's easier. But she actually doesn't mind dating someone who is shorter than her, which is the first of hearing that on this show. So Seema agrees that, finding someone to her height will make things much more simpler. She agrees. So I don't think she's gonna get someone's match her with someone who's extremely short. Okay. So we'll see. But I like that she's open minded to height. So she's not a stickler for height. So she does not want shorter, but she is okay and open minded to it. Because she has dealt, of course, as I mentioned before, men in the past feeling insecure about their height and also, them lying about their work experience, where they live. She has dealt with a lot, especially with the male ego. And I'm like, girl, ooh. I can't even imagine. So she just wants to be herself and someone to accept her as herself. So Seema can understand Pivney completely because she's also not so much of a traditional woman. She's a person who is business oriented. She wants to thrive in her career. And at first, the family that she's in now, it's an Orthodox family, and they weren't as accepting or so not accepting, but not as supportive towards Seema in her career path. But what was her support was her husband. He was such a pillar of strength. So Seema can completely understand what Pivneet is going through or thinking for herself. So of course, we're here for the journey and we're ready to see who she gets matched with. But now we're back in Miami and we are getting an update on Arthi. Arthi and Seema have been going through it, y'all. They have a difference of opinions on, first love at first sight attraction. And so Arthi tells Auntie Seema that she has joined pretty much she met a man, okay? So Arthi, she joined a dating app okay, and she met Jamal on this app. So they've been, seeing each other. Jamal is actually quite good looking. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. So Arti, she's FaceTiming Seema, and Seema was, starting to share with Arti some new bio datas that she had found for her. And but Arti is like, no, 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 no. I found someone and it's quite serious. So she is seeing this person. So Auntie Seema asked her if he meets her criteria. What do you think? And Arthi, she's pretty much saying everything she's been wanting for. She found. She found a guy that she has chemistry instantly. And I'm like, oh, this is a shot towards Auntie Seema, okay? But the thing is, the catcher is that Jamal is Muslim and she is Hindu, and this is actually a delicate situation in their community. So Auntie Seema, I was curious to see what her feedback would be, and also Arthi, she was a little bit nervous to hear her feedback too as well. But Seema, she was actually quite supportive. She said if there's a good match with you guys should proceed further and move forward to like meeting the family. But Arthi, she actually kind of wants to take it slow. He hasn't met her parents yet, her mother yet. But Seema is like, do not wait for this to be so long for this to actually happen, to move things along if that's what you want. So Auntie Seema, she actually congratulates Arthi and wishes her the very best. And I hope so too as well. And I'm like, I hope we get to see a little bit more of this Jamal guy because we got involved with her life and now I feel like we're being kicked out of it. Okay. So we do get to see more, but I'm so happy that we do because I thought this was the end of seeing Arthi. So Pivnit, back to Pivnit, Seema has found a match, y'all, and his name is Tushar. And I'm like, that name sounds familiar. I remember Tushar was matched with Rushali, but Rushali, she didn't go on a date with Tushar. So we get to meet Tushar anyway. So I'm like, okay, Seema, I see you matching people within the biodata. So Pivnit, she's excited to learn more about Tushar. His height is 5'11", but that doesn't seem to discourage her at all. She just hopes that the guy doesn't have an issue with her height primarily, and overall the family is optimistic. Now back to Arthi. She is on a lunch date with her good friend, and they're pretty much talking about what happened with Jamal, how are things proceeding. And what we learned is that Arthi actually had a first date with him at Costco. I'm like, okay, that's such an interesting date. So that's a good sign because I know she really likes Costco, and for a guy to go on a Costco date with her, that's a really big deal. So that's a good sign to me, okay? So they actually have been spending every day together, and he lives quite near, only 4 blocks away. So it seems like this is an ideal, really good match. So she does have strong feelings for him, but I feel like the biggest deal, what they're talking about, is more about him being Muslim and her saying that her dad would not have liked him to be Muslim. So I'm like, oh, I knew how important it was for her to uh, date or marry someone who is Sindhi based on her father wishes. But she does realize and acknowledges that her father ultimately wants her to be happy and would be accepting of Jamal. So I'm like, okay, oh, that's a big change. That's a big change. So I hope her family is supportive, especially if she really loves this guy. So back to Pivneet, she's on a date with Tushar, and they go on a little like lunch dinner date. And guys, the height difference. I know he's 5'11", but 5'11" next to 6 feet. I don't know. To me, I didn't think there would be so much of a big difference. I think she may be 6'2". And he may be like 5'10". But it doesn't bother her, but you can tell he notices it. His face lights up. He's like, wow, she's tall. So you could tell he's immediately nervous. And I see her and she's like super confident. So I'm just like hoping for the best. See how the situation's gonna play out. So far, this guy is super nervous. He can't even get the first question out of his mouth. And ultimately, we have Pivnit having to help and assist. She's a great communicator and she's able to, help him a little bit to move along this date. Okay. So Pivnit, she takes control, and Tushar, he likes that she's pretty much a go getter. He likes a woman who's about her independence too, as well, and is able to have like a passion and a drive. So the conversation is flowing and it's giving me good vibes, y'all. So in the confessional with Tushar, he says that he had the butterflies. So I'm trying to understand, what does that mean? Butterflies, good butterflies or bad butterflies? Because I'm trying to understand how you're feeling about our girl Pivnit. So back to the day, Tushar asked Pivnit how tall she is, and I'm like, okay, finally, he's asking the elephant that's in the room. This could be a good thing or a bad thing. She shares how tall she is. She's 6 feet tall, and he just compliments her, make her make her feel the most beautiful in her height. And I'm like, okay, this is a good sign. Things are looking good, and you could see that her face is completely lit up. So the moment I know he liked her is when he says that, I love tall women, because it's like, what about like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? That's the, oh, he's into tall women. That's a good sign. So yeah, this is a match. This is a match for me. So I'm co-signing this. I'm looking forward to see them on a second date. Pivnit, she's enjoying this date too as well, and I love it. And I'm seeing that he's having a feeling that they're connected. And he does this cute thing at the end of the day where he says, I'm not trying to be awkward or give you creep vibes, but can I have your number? And I'm like, oh my God, this is like perfect. This is the perfect first date. Auntie Sima would be so happy for her. Oh my God, she did that. So I would love to see how these two progress and move forward, y'all. So now over to Auntie Sima, and she's having lunch with her sister, and I can see like the complete differences in personality completely. Okay, so they're having lunch, and the sister is getting an understanding from Sima what is dating life now for the youth, and overall her questions are along the side of. What's it like for her clientele in India versus her clientele in abroad? And what we learn is that both clientele are both similar in the sense that they want to find love. It's just that the Indian clientele is more connected to the family, as opposed to abroad is more about the two people. But aside from that, it's pretty much similar. Everyone has their list of what they want, okay? So Arti comes up in this conversation. She shares how, Arti is mostly about that instant connection, chemistry, and that is so different from her, but she is open-minded and she wants to help. Auntie Sima, she has good intentions. I feel like she takes every clientele as her own, she's helping her own kid find her match. So I can tell that Auntie Sima, she's rooting for Arti, and they have their differences, but she's gonna be there to support her regardless. So now we get to see Arti and Jamal, y'all. I didn't think we were gonna see this, but we get to see it. So Arti asked Jamal what made him want to lock her down. And I thought, this was cute to see, okay, how he feels about her, get an understanding. But he does this teasing thing where he said, no, I thought that was you locking me down. And I'm laughing because these two are both jokesters, but I want to see the more serious side to kind of have an understanding that, okay, he likes her. Because that's what I was trying to look for. Because I feel like you were not taking Auntie Sima's help, and you went on a dating app and you found this man. Now, is this man marriage seeking? Is he serious, or is this just lighthearted, just dating? And they've been together for 4 months. He said that he was happy that she was not a catfish. Um, he was shocked with her because he never been on a date where the woman pays for the date. And I'm like, pays for the date? And apparently she paid $7 for pizza. And he was so impressed by that. It seems like he's met some of the family. He met the sister, but he hasn't met the mom yet. there is some still understanding that there may be a difficulty of him coming into the family. His side of the his family is actually open-minded and very uh caring and nice people, but her family is not as open-minded. And he was shocked by that because he mentioned that, her sister is actually married to someone who's Muslim Pakistani, so he thought that maybe it would be a little bit easy for him. And she's like, nope, not easy. So this is a working progress, but I haven't heard any talks about marriage yet, or if they talked about like kids, like some serious questions. So my eyes are still on Jamal. Jamal ultimately he cares for good morals and taking care of one another, and they will be fine. I'm just waiting to see. I'm just waiting to see more serious questions being asked. So I'm happy that she's happy, but I'm also still nervous. So we'll keep an eye on that, y'all. So that was the show. I wonder what do you guys think? Oh my god. I miss some of our other singles. We don't get an update on our others. Oh, Priya, Bobby. I want to know, are we helping Bobby? We have to find a match for Bobby. Oh my god. So guys, that was the recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. And let's continue to recap more episodes on Indian matchmaking. So stay tuned, guys. Love you. Bye.